Okay, Lola, I saw in your resume that we lived in Seattle at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when you were at
Nice.
UW, I was working downtown in Seattle.
Did you like it?
Oh yeah, we loved it. Except the weather finally drove us out.
At the same time.
We needed more sun, but
Well, yeah. I grew up a lot on the West Coast, so I
yeah,
miss it.
yeah. No, we loved it. We loved it out there, particularly since we live downtown and it's such a livable city.
Oh, yeah, totally. Adjust my lights.
Why are all our commission people like on as attendees?
So
Okay,
we're
Lola,
quorum. Yeah.
we have everyone.
Okay, that's what I was just realizing, that we have everybody. Okay. All right. Well, then I'd like to open up our February meeting of the Inland Wetlands Agency on February 7th at 7:02 p.m. Our agenda, our regular meeting agenda items, our application 21-36 has been moved to March 7th. So we will start with application 21-39, 61 Lovers Lane. And we received this at the last meeting. So we will, do we have the applicant? We can see if the applicant's here to talk about it, answer questions.
I don't see the applicant in the list. If he wants to raise his hand, I can move him, but I don't see him.
Okay. I looked through the minutes. It didn't seem like we had a lot of discussion about this because it was for receipt. Well, for the commission members, this is an application to construct a pergola for hops, sounds like. within the review area. Did any of the agency members have any questions or comments that we could forward on to the applicant? Because my understanding, John, is that we could approve this or disapprove this tonight. We could vote on this tonight, but we also have until the next meeting.
That's correct.
Yeah, okay. So if there are comments or questions on this application.
I looked at the plans. It looks pretty straightforward to me. So I don't have any questions.
Okay, Joe or John, Matthew?
No, I don't have any questions either.
So are we talking about the river
No.
Edge Farm?
No,
that one has been tabled until March. So we're talking
Okay.
about Lover's Lane, the pergola on the barn.
I was okay with that one, being that it was small and agricultural related. So I'm okay if we either give it to John or we vote on it tonight.
I agree with that.
I don't have a problem with that, you know.
All right. Well, you mean, Joe, by give it to John, you mean switch it to section 13?
Well, if we're going to vote on it tonight, then we can just keep it with us. But
Okay.
I don't think we're waiting for anything, correct?
No, this was received last time. We didn't
Okay.
really have discussion.
I was good. I was good with it.
Okay. Well, would you like to make a motion?
Sure. I will make a motion that application 21-39 for 61 Lovers Lane be approved as submitted.
I second it.
As long as it has ENS measures in place that John is satisfied with.
Okay. And Lee, you second
Yeah,
that?
I second it.
Okay. Any other discussion? All right. All in favor of approval of application 21-39? Raise your hand,
Aye.
say aye.
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 Okay, I think that's good. Right? Moving
Yeah, that's
quickly,
good.
moving quickly along.
Good. That's good.
Why waste time? It's a long agenda, right?
It is. It is. All right. So our next application is a little more complicated or a little more in detail. It's application 21-41. So we have a subdivision referral as well as a regulated activity permit to grade new lot, construct new single family dwelling with driveway, subsurface sewage disposal system within the upland review area. The same holds for this application. We can ask questions, we can ask, if we have comments, and we can act on it tonight, or we can see if we need more information and act on this in March. So, I see. Okay, so we have applicants here?
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening. Bob Doan, for the record. And we submitted this application on behalf of Timothy Mack at 544 Opening Hill Road. Excuse me. The initial application running along the western. Is it possible to share a screen? I can do that.
Yes, please.
You should be able to as a panelist, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And just let me know if there's anybody else who's supposed to be joining you. I'm supposed to be letting in.
Perhaps after I finish talking, maybe.
Okay.
Okay, this is the initial application that I submitted. And with John and Aaron, we took a site walk and walked along the western property line of the 2.93 acre lot that we are proposing to create. And as you can see, there's a significant amount of grading for that lot. And so what we decided to do was slide the driveway off of the steep hillside and put it at the toe of the slope and have a much gentler grading for the driveway. And it's, even though the driveway is somewhat closer to the wetlands, the grading is significantly less. And I'm trying to eliminate the closed caption on the screen because it's blocking my pointer. Do you guys see the closed caption or do you see the drawing?
You see the drawing.
Okay. We also added at the request of or pursuant to submitting a re-subdivision application, we proposed a common driveway that runs from the intersection of our proposed driveway and the existing driveway up to Opening Hill Road. We have submitted the plan to the health department, received comments and responded to those comments. And this plan is being submitted for referral because we are going through a re-subdivision process. And it will come back to this commission after subdivision approval when we have a detailed house. We show all the detail that is typically shown on a site plan. And once the lot is sold or Timothy decides to build a house, we'll have a detailed house, but the house location, sanitary system location, and the driveway location will remain the same. We have enough room on this site for stormwater recharge at the toe of the slope, and it's one of the significant features of the site are the nice large tulips. When we moved the driveway down to the base of the hill, we were able to maneuver it around the tulips and get it up to the top of the hill where the house is. We do have, because of the subdivision, we had to do soil testing for the existing house and prepare a B100A system to demonstrate that the existing house can accommodate, or the lot, if you will, can accommodate a code compliant sanitary system. The part of the activity would be fixing the existing driveway with maintenance. It does run immediately adjacent to wetland swale on the driveway, and we would propose to install a wattle along the edge of the driveway because it is so close to the swale. But again, this is a referral to the Planning Commission for the re-subdivision that we are proposing. With that, I'll stop and I can answer any questions that anybody may have.
So while you have your screen up, can you just outline, it'd be helpful, I think, for everyone, where the wetland boundary is?
Yep, this is the wetland boundary.
So, and we're in the 100-foot review. So is the whole house is in the 100-foot review?
Yes. Mhm. Yep. This is the darker line is the 100-foot review.
Yeah. Are there questions for the applicant?
So we're acting on, we need to address this, the referral, and what is is there also a regulated activity permit that we have to deal with? Taylor, you said that's just for the grading, I guess?
Go ahead.
Okay. The regulated activity is the construction of the driveway, the associated grading. We'll have underground utilities in the driveway, the house, the grading, and the sanitary system is about 85 feet or so away from the wetlands in this area. But the silt fence, which is the dark line with the small squares, essentially indicates our limit of activity.
So I guess, so part of what you were saying, it sounded like, is that you really wanted to deal with the referral tonight, but that includes this regulated activity permit for the driveway and the septic,
Well,
but not the house. I mean, it's hard,
No.
but we've got this all here.
no, this is a referral to the Planning Commission. And we will come back with a similar plan once we have some additional detail for the house. You're correct that the sanitary system and the driveway are essentially fixed as shown, and the house will change when we have a detailed house design. So I guess it is a combination of both, a referral and a review / permit of the regulated activity for the driveway and the sanitary system. We do have, well, just a tail end of the proposed driveway is in the 100-foot area, and we have maintenance for the existing driveway. And that was all spelled out in the application.
All right. Any comments or questions from the agency members?
I'll just ask John if he's okay with taking in a combination re-subdivision application at the same time as a regulated activity request, because I don't, in my 6 years, maybe 7 years with the commission, I've never seen an application where a proposal for a new lot was combined with activity.
Well, Joe, I think with this lot is that based on what our conversation, when I say ours, John and I were discussing the location of the driveway. I feel strongly about the location of the driveway as it is shown. I did show the alternative to it, getting it out of the 100-foot review area as much as possible, created a grading challenge, if you will. And I would feel comfortable with even if the referral was to, not to presume anything, but if it were a referral that suggested that the driveway and the sanitary system be in a similar location when the detailed site plan comes back. The sanitary system, we had favorable soil tests in the area shown. The driveway just works where it is shown.
Yeah, Bob, I'm not disputing the locations at all. It's just, I've never
Right,
seen
I
them
understand the,
combined with the activity at the same
right.
time.
Yeah, so Joe, if I have a second, just excuse me, Bob, but
That's fine.
just to answer Joe's question, which was directed to me. No, I think I'm okay. Staff talked about this, and I agree with you, Joe, that quite frankly, I haven't seen it. I've been doing this for going on 3 years now, and we haven't done this, but I did talk to Aaron about this, our town planner, and I did reach out to some third-party professionals. And a lot of times this is done on these small subdivisions or re-subdivisions, particularly if it's one lot and if the owner is involved. So the owner is going to own the lot that you're going to refer this evening, and in fact lives adjacent. He lives in the adjacent lot. So a lot of times, my understanding was that it's done to sort of expedite the process a little bit, where you're getting most of the development as it will be, because he's gone through that process. Whereas typically you might just get a referral with nothing other than, it's going to go to planning and zoning, and you'll see sort of a schematic or an indication of where a septic system in a house can go and meet the minimum requirements. Then it would come back as a building permit, and then you would see it in more detail as you see this. So he's just sort of trying to get a half a step ahead. If the house were going to go exactly where he thinks it is, but I credit Bob to let you know that house may in fact change, but the driveway won't, nor will the septic system. And I went out there, Aaron and I walked up and down that slope, and it was my recommendation or my agreement with the recommendation to move that driveway where it is. I think Aaron concurred. Saved all of those tulips. There was a lot less impact on the wetlands with excavation and sloping. So to your point, Joe, yeah, it's not something that we see all the time, but it's also not unique. And I'm okay with it.
Okay, thank you.
So
I-
I have a question about the water on the driveway. I assume this is paved. So how are you managing it?
Okay, you're correct, it is paved. And we do end up with a high point right about where my cursor is. And we have a cross slope that gets it to the south side of the driveway and then down to a swale. This is a swale that develops, and it's an abandoned roadway. The road is kind of washed out, if you will, further down, and there's a developed swale right in here that Rich Snarsky is actually flagged as wetlands in the middle of the swale. But the water would be cross slope going from north to south. The driveway is 10 feet wide. It is paved. the pavement ends right where my cursor is. And it'll be gravel to the existing house. And this, from the apron here, it will be gravel. I kept the roadway under 8% going up to the house. So under 8%, I feel comfortable with a gravel driveway. This section of the drive right in through here is 12%. And that's why this is paved and not gravel. But I'm able to end the gravel right here. This is relatively flat going to the house. But it
Going
is,
to the new house, that's going to be gravel, is what you're saying.
that's correct. Yep, this is gravel. This existing drive is gravel and it will stay gravel, and pavement down to here. We do have a couple of driveways that go off to the south that are existing. Right now, it's a gravel roadway, and it's about I would say 8 feet wide or so at the best. It's about the width of John's car.
Okay, and for the septic, I'm assuming it looks like you said the soils are good and that's about the best place then?
Yeah, that's the best
Even-
place for the sanitary system. It's to reduce the grading. I used a very shallow system. It's about 6 inches deep. They're GSTs, and this is designed for a 4-bedroom house. And I appreciate John's comments regarding the detail that's shown here on. We have done this in the past where we are doing essentially a lot split. It's a re-subdivision because this lot was created from a subdivision, but we're just essentially creating one lot and giving you as much information as possible for that lot. The lot doesn't present that many options, and I think the option that we're showing is the best to present. And I'd like to, by approving this activity of the driveway and the sanitary system and having the plan come back to you, you are committing the owner to this location. And both John and I feel that that's the best location.
What's the nature of the wetland?
It's a wooded wetlands. It's not really a red maple swamp. There's some very nice hardwoods in there. Tulip trees are up along the shore, and then we get into some maples, but it's a wooded wetlands.
Okay.
Other questions for the applicant and his engineer? Very quiet out there, guys.
It is quiet. It's not-
I guess I could make a motion. So with regard to application 21-41, I will move to approve the re-subdivision of 2 new lots, one being vacant, and to allow the creation of the lots, and also should they be approved by planning and zoning, the subsequent installation of a driveway with the grading and the proposed installation of a septic system in the locations as shown.
I'll second it.
All right.
Can I make a suggestion that you include that the plan does come back, the site plan does come back before this commission?
Yeah, so that would be in our comment section, and yes.
Oh, it would be. Okay. All
Well,
right. Thank you.
that's what I was going to say, is that I think it would be, I would just like to make sure that given the driveway in place and the septic sanitary system in place, that any house, any other regulated activity come back to us.
Okay, thank you.
So that's my comment. Anybody else have a comment?
No, I agree. And Bob did note the house would come back because it's not set in stone.
That's
So I would
correct.
not include it.
Right. But I think it's good to call that out and just make sure it's clear, and it'll be helpful for planning and zoning as well. All right, if there are no other comments, all in favor of the motion as discussed and amended? Raise your hand, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, all right.
Thank you very much. Have a
Thank you
good
all for your
evening.
time.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And can you, yeah, thank you.
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so our next application is 22-01 Warpus Road, which, as you will recall, I need to recuse myself from. So Mr. Boudreau is going to take over.
Do we have enough to vote? Do we have enough to vote on it if there's just 3 left?
Yeah.
You
only have 5, you have 5 members total.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
but
so quorum, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll
Okay.
hide myself. You guys can go.
Okay, unexpected surprise. Okay, but I do remember this now from last time. So next on the agenda, application 2201, Warpus Road, map 71, lot 1, owned by the Land Conservation Trust of Madison. And they're looking to construct a stone aggregate surfaced access driveway and trailhead parking lot. Are the applicants here?
Yes, Mr. Acting Chairman, we are.
Thank
For the
you.
For the record, I'm Mike Ott. I'm a licensed professional engineer and land surveyor with Summerhill Civil Engineers in Madison. Excuse me, and I'm here on behalf of the Land Trust. There are, I think I can see at least Ben is here from the Land Trust, and I think David Roach, I believe, is in attendance, and Bob Kukta is in attendance. There may be others that I can't see. I apologize.
I'd like to send a shout out to Bob on behalf of the commission.
I second that.
So, there's Bob. Could I share my screen, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, you may. I believe as a panelist. That's what I heard
Yeah.
earlier.
Okay. Can you all see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So this is, as you know, for the proposed parking area at the Lowry Woods parcel. This is an ortho photograph. I don't know how well this is showing up on the screen, but Warpus Road is left to right across the sheet. You can see the yellow center line of Warpus Road. The Neck River is here to the left or to the south, crossing beneath Warpus Road. This is, I think, if I remember right, number 58. I probably shouldn't have tried to quote this street number, but I think that's the house number here. And the driveway for the proposed parking area is directly across the street, as you can see from this home. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. So the proposal is to construct an 18-foot wide driveway, and this flag to the right parking area with 8 spaces. The only portion of the lot of the parking area and driveway that would be paved is a bituminous apron at the very beginning at the edge of Warpus Road. Pretty straightforward, really. Geotextile silt fence sediment control barrier between the proposed construction and the wetlands associated with the neck, which are left side here to the south, I guess it would be. I showed, this is not, as you can see, a formal survey or plan, but I did, this orthophoto is to scale. I did create a surface model and put the state's LiDAR-based topography on the plan so that you could see two things. One is you can get an estimation of where the wetlands are. You can see there's an elevation 28 ground surface contour on the Neck River side and another elevation 28. And then the ground slopes up, of course, to the site, which is up at elevation 32 or so. So the inland wetland is in this area, if you can see my cursor that's moving. It's the inland wetland and the area between the wetland and the parking area is wooded. This area here is a mound that rises up so that when you come down Warpus Road from the north, heading south this way to the left on the sheet, you actually won't be able to see this parking area. This ground, as you can see, rises up a bit. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. I don't know if you can see these numbers, but you can see that it's up at, as high as elevation 40 here, and the parking lot's down at 32. So it would be difficult. I actually don't think it can be seen at all as you come down Warpus Road, going from right to left across the sheet. In the opposite direction, you will be able to, as you head to Cops Road and head right across the sheet, you would be able to see the parking area. I think you all know that some clearing took place in this area, and the proposal is to have some native plantings put in place, installed here to replant the area between the new construction and the area where clearing took place, so that area will get reestablished with vegetation after the parking lot is completed. I think I said earlier the only portion of the parking lot and driveway that would be paved is the apron. The plan is to surface the driveway and the lot with crushed stone aggregate. And I understand that there's some detail about the planting that maybe Bob Cookta or Dave Roach might be able to speak to if they're up as panelists. And I can leave my screen shared if they would like, so that they can use the plan. And be glad to answer any questions before we do that, if you have any. So any questions from the commission?
This is a quick question for, from a documentation standpoint, would it be possible, should we have the wetlands delineated on this? So for the record, we know where they are versus where the construction is? That's a question for Joe and John, I guess, whether or not we need that.
It makes sense to need to know where the wetlands are.
So if I could, the wetland boundary was delineated by Rich Snarsky. What we did not do is do a survey and locate them and place them on the map. But I guess what I was trying to say earlier is it's pretty obvious when you're in the field that they're down at this 28 elevation contour, and I measured they are the edge of this parking area would be about 75 feet from the wetland boundary, from the flags in the field. I didn't say, I neglected to say that we actually, Dave Roach and I actually rough staked this parking area, and we took some measurements down to the flags, and again, the distance between the construction and the wetland boundary is about 75 feet. It's pretty obvious when you go out and walk it. And I think, is the agency just receiving this evening?
It was received at the last meeting, Mike.
It was, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
The, there is about 65 to 75 feet of undisturbed wetland forest between where you see the sediment control barrier to the wetland itself. So it's the last 25 feet or so. About half of the 18-foot wide driveway is within the 100-foot review, and then the rest of it is out of the review. And I think from my walking it, it looks like most of the parking spots are out of the 100-foot review. It's mostly just half of the driveway coming in off of Warpus Road that's within the 100-foot review.
yeah, I think that's correct. That makes sense with what Dave and I measured also in the field.
Now, you mentioned there was clearing. How come some clearing took place?
Well, I have to let maybe Dave or Ben from the Land Trust or maybe Bob can speak about it. I'm not sure.
I think I would let Dave, because there's a stewardship committee, and I think they started the opening up of the area so they could see where the parking lot could actually go. And it may have been that the wetlands weren't flagged yet when the clearing began. I'm not sure what the timeline was on that. Maybe John Delore could add some of that information.
If I'm asked.
Do you have any information on that, John?
Yeah, I mean, the way this got started, they got a verbal notification of a violation. They were basically clear cutting a large expanse, and the flags, Rich's flags were up, because I went out there and you could see that they clear cutted, almost up to to me, it looked a lot closer than 75 feet to the flags on some of that may be where the parking lot's going to be, but that's not where the clearing was. The clearing was much closer to the wetlands than I think, we're getting testimony to now, because yeah, I can agree that the parking lot, may not be within 100, but the clearing was. And I'm a little bit concerned, why there wouldn't be a remediation plan. I'm looking at a sketch, basically a presentation of a theory of a parking lot. And that's great, superimposed over something that I can't really see. But I can tell you that the reason why it was clear, and it was cleared, a lot of it's cleared. In other words, from Warpus Road pavement, there might be 10 or 12 feet of brambles and brush, maybe a winterberry. And then it's cleared all the way back. So what you're looking at from the parking lot, which if you just look at this, it's 24 feet wide, that driveway. If you just use that, I'm just quickly going to do this 24, that's 24, it's almost 75 feet back, which is all cleared. So my question would be, what's the remediation plan? How are you going to buffer that area from that to the neighborhood? That's my concern is that it was a violation, and there's no, I don't see any evidence for remediation of that violation.
So before Dave Roach or others from the Land Trust speak, John, I just want to restate what I said, and maybe I wasn't clear enough, but I'm quite sure I did indicate that this area was cleared, and the limits of clearing are definitely to the left of this parking area. And that's why I said, I'm quite sure I said the area that won't be new construction will have to be planted and reestablished. That's what I meant. So there's definitely been clearing within 100 feet for sure. And this parking lot and this driveway will only encumber a portion of that cleared area. There's still cleared area to the left of the proposed parking area that has to be planted and reestablished. And that's what I meant earlier when I said that possibly Dave Roach or Bob Cook or Ben, I think they have some details about how they plan to plant this and reestablish it. So if Bob, can you speak to that, or would that be Dave?
Well, from my horticultural background, I've been out there at least 2 or 3 times during the clearing and after. If the agency wants to see white pines and cedars and native high bush blueberry and winterberry, that's certainly feasible, and we could have that put on the plan, as well as a line that delineates the existing clearing. And that if that's information that you would like to have provided before you feel comfortable moving forward with this, I'm sure Mike and I could work on getting that information to you.
Well, that should be included with the application.
And in the case like now, added to before a decision. So there's a potential remediation plan to the south of the driveway. We don't have the wetlands redlined, at least on this plan. So I would think if we're not gonna want a survey of the area that's 150 by 300 feet of this area, I think we should definitely have on the town website the remediation plan and all the plantings to reestablish vegetation to the south. And definitely we should have the wetland line at least redlined on this ortho map.
I agree.
I agree too, Joe.
So anybody, are there any questions amongst the board with regards to what Mr. Ott has explained?
No, I guess we just wait till next meeting and see a more detailed plan.
Okay, and Bob and Mr. Roach don't have anything more for tonight? Then
Mike Ott and I will put together the replanting plan.
Okay, so at this time, I'll just need a motion for this application to be continued to our March meeting.
Joe, before we do that, John DeLore, do you have anything else to add besides what Joe just stated?
Good question.
No, I think the main concern is the remediation plan. A legitimate, like we would always accept a planting plan that says, fortunately they've got, Bob Cook is going to put this together. So he's going to put a species that are going to be, I'm sure, acceptable to the agency. But our format in a situation like this, especially in a violation, is to take a look at that. And I think that's the right way to go. The other thing I can add is that I know that the trust is going to put on, and Bob, you can correct me, or David, I think on February 12th, I think much to their credit, they've reached out to the neighbors who did in fact show some concern about what was going on there and how that was going to impact their residential character. So to their credit, they've got a meeting on the 12th with the neighbors on the site to explain what's happening. And I think, that gives the agency and me some time between the 12th of February and the next meeting to get some input from the neighbors who were concerned. So I think it's a good idea to continue this. It's well within it's not well within, but it's within the statutory time limit to go to March. So I think that's the right way to go.
I'll also add, if Mike could add the boundary of where the clearing limit took place.
We can sketch that, Joe. Yeah,
Yes.
we could
Yep.
take some measurements.
Yep.
In the field.
So do we have a motion to continue
I
application?
move that we continue application 22-01 Warpus Road until the next meeting, March meeting.
I'll second it.
Thank you, John. Okay,
All three of
so
us.
all in favor,
I,
say aye.
Aye, aye.
Aye. Okay, the ayes have it, 3-0. We're going to see Warpus Road at the March 7th meeting.
7th, yeah.
Yep, I like March. It's always exactly the same as February.
Right.
All right, so
That's
All right,
That-
thank you.
that ends our applications for being heard and voted on tonight. We now go to Kia, if she's still with us.
Yeah. Kia, if I can I just say something before we get to the next?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to move into receipts, and as you know, we sort of have a new way that we're receiving the applications. We're not going to accept testimony. We're going to basically, it's incumbent upon the agency to decide, is there some reason to have this as a public hearing? Do you want to take a site walk? Or you want to talk to staff about what you think you'd want at the next meeting, that we can convey that to the applicants, or some notes that'll be in the minutes that we can also convey to the applicants. But as it is now, we're not accepting testimony from the applicants or the applicants' professional disciplines. So this is basically just to start the clock for the 65-day process to hear and make a decision.
Okay. Thank you, John, for that explanation. So I think, and that's great. So hopefully you guys all looked at this. So we'll go through, we'll talk, we'll just go through each and figure out if we want to do anything with respect to sidewalk, public hearing, comments, etc. So our first application for receipt is 22-02, 30 White Oak Lane. This is an application to remove 5 trees to replace with fruit trees. Does anybody have any comments or want to do a site walk? I will offer a comment first. I looked through and I could have missed it, but it wasn't entirely clear where the wetland boundary was. So if it's not, I mean, there's a lot on the 4 pages of the application, but it wasn't clear, and I can go back and look, but that can just be in the minutes that hopefully the wetland boundary is clearly delineated on the application. Anybody else have comments they want to offer?
No, I guess my question can wait. It was just a matter of, are the 5 trees sick? But that's an easy question for next month. So
Yeah.
I don't have any comments.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess
Yeah.
that was my question too. It's like we're taking 5 trees and replacing with trees. So why can't the 5 trees
Stay.
somewhere else? It's not clear. But yes,
We'll know next month.
yeah, it'll be a nice surprise. Does Lee or John have any comments on this one?
Nope,
Okay.
I don't.
All right. Well, we'll receive that. It's received automatically. So our next application is 22-03, 50 Pleasantview Avenue. This is for a new house with septic and everything. If you looked up, this is down, looked like it was down off Neck Road, somewhere down there. Is that right? I guess.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not the property we were at where we got a muffin
No, that was a different one, I think,
Okay,
unless they changed the name. No, that was Stone Lane or Stone something.
okay.
Yeah, no, and I think, no, this is different.
Yep, I
Um,
think it is. Yep.
And so I guess, if you looked at the site plan, the leaching field is, right up near the wetland boundary or regulated activity, or it's,
Yep.
within. I'm not sure if it is putting in a new house. I don't know if you guys want to think about doing a site walk.
I-
Throw that.
I think we have a history of site walks down in south of Neck Road, so maybe this one is a good one. I know Atlas Construction, they do big projects. So it could be a good one to get a site walk with.
Yeah, that was my, which is why I'm suggesting is because we typically down down below Route 1, where it's kind of crowded, there's not a lot of wetland. We tend to do site walks. Lee or John, would you
Yeah,
be?
no, that works for me.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
We should have a site walk.
Okay. Now, John Delora, is this something we need to vote on this, or can we just be saying we're going to schedule a site walk?
No, you can just say you're gonna have you want to have a site walk. That's why we're doing this. Yep.
Okay, great.
And
All right.
I'll put that together for you.
Okay.
I'll send out some times and, because everybody's all over the place. So I'll try to get everybody, over the next few days, I'll give you some dates and times.
Okay. So that takes us to our next application for receipt, which is 22-04-301 Boston Post Road. This is again, it's a modification to a previously approved section 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you want to?
I can give you a little background on this if you'd like.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't
Okay.
understand it.
At the agency's direction, I approved administratively a plan that had been, I guess, extended, 2 or 3 times since 2006. It went to 11 and then 16 and then 21. And it was to expire, I think, in September of 21. They came before the agency, the applicant came before the agency in August of 21. And we went through it and didn't see any reason. It was exactly the same plan that was approved in 2006, extended in 11 and 16. So the one change was that, in fact, the sanitary system was now moved out of the 100-foot review area. So in that aspect, it was better. And I was given permission to approve that as a section 13, which I did. Subsequent to that approval, the applicant submitted a building permit. And as I reviewed the building permit, it became obvious that the plan had changed, I would say significantly, but that's why you're here. You make that decision. And I think if it might help you, I'm kind of jumping in on this, but I know it's for receiving, but if Maria could pop up the 2 plans, the one that you gave me permission to approve administratively, and the one that they submitted as part of their building permit just recently, subsequent to that section 13, then you can see graphically why I was a little apprehensive to continue that as an approval 13 without the agency's review. So this is what was approved originally. And this is also what was approved in August of 21 by the agency directing me to do this as a section 13, which I did. The sanitary system in the lower left-hand corner there was moved out of the 100-foot area, which was great. So that was that. That's what you asked me to approve administratively, and I did. Subsequent to that, Maria's going to put up the second plan, which she so aptly can do. She's got to go to a different place to get it. Okay, so it's up now. You can see the house is the same. It's future. The sanitary system is where it was outside the 100. The small barn is gone, and it has turned into a two-bedroom, single-family dwelling, a small rectangle in the back, sharing a sanitary system. And then a larger barn that I think is actually going to be in the future. So the barn will be future, the house will be future. So what they're asking for now is that small, single-family dwelling. Yes, thank you. And, you know, some, I think with the truck, plus the sanitary system. And then eventually they'll come back for the bigger single family, the 4-bedroom house and the larger barn. But at this point, I just thought that that was enough of a change that I wanted the agency to take a look at it.
Well, I think it's probably good to take a look at it with these changes and future changes to keep in mind. Is the septic going to be the same for everything that's going to be added?
Yeah, it's definitely got the second dwelling connected to it.
Yeah.
So John, they basically want to build a detached accessory apartment before the house.
They want to live in it while they're building the house. So there are some steps that have to happen between that. It's possible to do that. It's been
Yes.
done before.
Yep.
We don't have a, you know, it can be if it's 400 square feet, it can be a single family dwelling.
Yep.
They chose to put a giant sanitary system in, that's fine. So they're just anticipating what they're going to do, which eventually would be to build that 4-bedroom in the barn. And then, you know, we would have them file on the records. This is not something you really need to know, but I'll tell you anyway, that we'll file on the records that they'll have to abandon that small single family 2-bedroom and revert that to an accessory dwelling before they'll get a CO for the 4-bedroom new house. So they can do it. And they're just anticipating all of it at one time with the sanitary system.
And does this plan show a clearing limit?
It shows an E&S barrier, but I didn't see actually a clearing limit. If
Okay.
the single family dwelling is pushed a little bit, you know, it's further back than that small barn was that you saw on the first site plan. First site plan, you didn't see the big barn, you didn't see the 2-family, but you did see the small barn, almost like where the circle in the driveway that leads to the big barn, right in
Yep.
that area.
So
So
I
it's-
think I would favor this coming off the 13 list and coming to the commission.
Yeah, I think it's good that it's coming, and that is what it's doing, right? This is for receipt, so I think that makes sense.
Because, you know, sure, we see 3 buildings, a driveway, but there's going to be a lot more trees coming down than we think.
Yeah.
Should this be a second sidewalk on the same day as Pleasantview? Is it the same area?
It's Route 1, right? It's Boston Post Road.
Yeah, it's Boston Post Road.
Yep.
I'm happy to do a site walk. I'm just going to preface this by saying the next 3 applications, I'm also going to suggest a site walk.
Yeah, so am I, so.
Okay.
Might not be on the same day.
So we'll all go walking.
I'm bringing my dog.
Um,
No, I won't.
so, all right. So let's go to 301 Boston Post Road. Do you guys want to add that in as a site walk? You know, I think we should, I guess.
Yes.
It's, if you guys are okay, if everyone.
Yes,
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So let's do that. And then for site walk. And then we come to our new subdivision, 2206, 2207, 2208 Wildwood Avenue. And these, as promised, have come back as, you know, potentially developed lots. And I think given all the discussion we had about this subdivision, it sounds like you guys are all on the same page. It would be time to go and do a site walk there.
Yeah, I don't know
Correct.
whether we formally have to change it, but on the agenda, 2208, I think is misidentified as lot 8, should be lot 3.
Oh, yep.
It's lot 3 on mine.
Yeah, on mine it's lot 8.
Yeah.
It's lot 3 on mine too.
Yeah,
All right,
Lee's
well, as
correct.
long
on
as
that.
it's corrected in the record, that's.
Yeah, Lee's right. We should correct that on the record. Yep.
Okay. All right. So site walk for those. And then our last receipt for the evening is 22-09 463 Summerhill Road. This is Camp Laurelwood, and they want to put in a water flow system. So regulated activity permit to install a 22 by 25 foot building on a concrete slab, 60 feet from the wetland approximately. Are there questions, comments on this one? And of course, we'll be talking to the applicant, but this is just if there's anything that we need to really highlight.
Yeah, that looked pretty straightforward to me, but
Yep, I'll be interested in why they need such a big water system. I'd like to learn stuff.
Okay. So
Must
we'll
be a
have a
lot of
learn.
iron over there.
All right. Well, we'll use it as a learning opportunity in March. All right. So no site walk for that. Okay. All right. So that takes care of our receipts, and they were sure a whole bunch of them. And it'll be nice to see you all in person at some point in the next 4 weeks as we walk about. All right, so
Yes.
now we move on to section 13. So we have 22-05 70 Garnet Park Road. And
Oh, yeah, that's,
septic repair within a wetland review area.
yeah, that's, mine. Yeah, this section, this says a section 30, this is a repair. They've actually, it's, the lot is just basically along the river and tidal marsh. It's failing, they're moving it. It's only gonna be, it's upslope, it's gonna be probably, there's a dug well, they've got to abandon that and do another well. They've got, let's see, 25 perfect wetlands required, dug well to be abandoned. And I have a couple of notes that repair failing septic system and leaching fields. So I've added that, to protect with ENS barrier prior to start and maintain during the area and during work in the area to be stabilized until it's complete. Notify me when the ENS is up, to just to be sure that it's adequate to protect the river that's 25 feet away from the tank. I'm sorry, the field. So it's not the best situation, but it's a repair. There's no option. They've tested. I talked to a sanitarian about this, and she's, pretty much there's no other place to put it than where they showed it. So. I did it as a section 13 because there really is no other area that can be. And the backyard is even closer, so it's in the front yard. So it's actually close. It's actually closer to the road than it is to the wetlands.
Okay.
So
That makes
another failed system,
Yeah, and I know those are becoming more common now. It's kind of a bummer.
And hopefully they've
they're all-
already started. They've already started to fix it.
Yes,
Okay, good.
yes.
Is the property big enough? The well drilling is outside the 100 feet.
No,
So that's part of it.
That's part of it, yeah.
We'll allow that one too. Okay. Okay.
Well, we'll be
Okay.
sure to protect that, the spoils from that too.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So I forget, do we vote on approving John's
No.
handling? Okay, we just give a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Okay, that sounds
Thanks for the information.
All right, so as you saw, our public hearing was continued until March for 21-3135 Cottage Road.
Oh, it was. No, I didn't see that.
Oh, yep. It's
I wondered why we were going past 7:30. That explains it.
I just was ignoring it. No, it's continued. So we will have that in March.
Oh, good.
So we will move on to approval of the minutes. I actually have flagged as a number of items. Some of them are spelling or typos, but a couple have I highlighted them. So on page 4. This is in one of the discussions on the Cottage Road. It's kind of, it's about a third of the way down. It says, Chairman Frydenberg indicated she'd like to start with the environmental intervener. She further stated that Attorney Belcheck filed a petition to be the environmental intervention and asked if he could explain the intervention. Attorney Belcheck claimed that there was baseline data regarding the site's regulated resources. I think that should say no baseline data.
Yeah, either that or lack of, one or the other.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I think that was the whole point, is that there wasn't any baseline data.
I think no is better than what I put. I put in lack of, but
Okay.
no,
Yeah,
no works. No
I think-
works better, I think.
Yeah, I think we can just insert no baseline data that reflects what happened. There's if we stay, I guess, so page 5 near the bottom quarter of the page.
Before we go there, Kayla, the next paragraph, also in that paragraph, at the end, it goes, Ms. Shansky noted that they would be listening to this meeting and responding at the next, and it just kind of ends. Does everybody see that?
Yeah,
That should say next meeting, right?
next meeting, yes.
Sorry to cut you off. But
Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, we may as well go in order. Do you have anything else on page 4?
Nope.
Okay. Well, page 5, I had at the bottom, it says, Attorney Belcheck asked if Mr. Logan was implying that a lot of chemicals from the parking lot will eventually end up in the pot, but I think that should be
Pond.
pond.
Yep.
Yeah, so pot needs to change into pond. I mean, pot was kind of fun, but no pot. And then, I mean, there's some typos, but I don't think we need to, I don't know. I was trying to look for things that substantially change the intent of the, so I think my next, Lee, did you have, or anybody else?
No, I've already stated the two that I found.
Oh, okay.
I'm out of it.
So I guess on page 7, it says, let's see, this is about almost halfway. It says, so to allow stockpiling of new buildings. I don't think we're stockpiling new buildings.
Right.
To allow stockpiling of.
Can you read the sentence?
Well, yeah. So the sentence before is, these are comments from.
Yep.
And it states, one of the neighbors could barely secure approval to pave a small driveway from one home near a wetland. So to allow stockpiling of new buildings on top of wetlands, which would definitely require the use of heavy equipment, is insane. So I think, so to allow, I don't know, I'm not sure. I mean, the intent is, it's clearly that, the idea is that allowing the excavation or allowing the building of, or allowing the, I don't know.
I don't have them in front of me, unfortunately.
Okay. So to allow,
I'm
Would
trying
be
to find
stacking, would
it.
it?
It's
Well,
on page
basically-
7, you said?
yeah, page 7. So maybe it is like stacking of new buildings on top of wetlands. Maybe stacking is better. That would be fine, because that's the intent. I think that's the intent.
That's fine with me.
Okay. And then this one we actually really need to fix. The fee waiver for 2201 Warpus Road. It does say that I recuse myself, but it has me voting in favor, which I did not. Because I was recused.
Yeah.
And so I did not vote at all.
Yep.
And I think that would be, and then it's not a big deal. My name is still misspelled.
I wish the clearing came up. I would have said, make them pay.
Well,
You did. You did. Actually.
yeah. So those are the edits that I would suggest, along with what Lee had suggested. Did anybody have anything else?
Can I ask an off-the-wall general question about the minutes? Who transcribes the minutes, John?
Raquel Stutz.
Raquel? I don't know about everybody else, but it would sure help me reading them if she added paragraph breaks someplace. These really long, like 35 Cottage Road, it's really hard to read with no paragraph breaks. Is that being too nitpicky? And
Nope, it's perfect.
Hey, Raquel, is that okay with you? Or
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I just went along with what was done in the past, but if paragraphs are needed, I could go ahead and add that. That's fine.
that'd sure make it a lot easier to read. And I don't think it's really that important where the paragraph breaks are, but just so we can make it easier to read, so.
not as daunting.
Right.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so, and John, you were going to say something prior to Lee's comment?
I was going to say, are there any comments or recommendations with the minutes? And Lee beat me to it, so.
Okay, so
That's fine. The other thing too is we, coming up here, not now, we're going to do this next month, I think. But we've got election for chair, vice chair, and secretary.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind.
What are we doing as far as getting some new members, John? Are we doing anything?
We're reporting it to the BOS and the Democrat Republican parties. It's up to them. There's not much staff can do other than raise the red flag.
So you've told them, I guess. Do they need to be reminded?
Yes, and I'll make a note to do that, Lee. Thank you.
Okay, but before we get distracted, do I have a motion to approve?
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I move we approve the minutes to the January 10th meeting as discussed.
I'll second. This is Joe. I'll second.
I'll
Okay.
second.
Okay, great. I think we've discussed and amended. All in favor or
Aye.
Aye.
any opposed? No? Okay, so the minutes are approved. Remarks. I guess all I would say is I think as we get the hang of this new system, of looking at the receipts and scheduling site walks, I think it's going to be nicely efficient. And I think especially with the ones we highlighted today, I think I think that's great. And I think it'll be good to preview these with that in mind, all these for receipt. It'll help us think through, like, for instance, we got the Lover's Lane approved, in just one meeting tonight.
Right,
So,
right.
I think that's good. So I think that'll be my only comment.
So the only site walk we don't have is 2209 Summer Hill,
Right. And the white oak, whatever, the fruit
oh
tree.
yeah, 30 White Oak, yes.
Yeah.
we-
First and the
yeah.
last.
We
Gonna
just
mark-
want to, we just want to know, we're going to let them know that we need to know where the wetland boundary is.
That would be helpful. Yes.
Okay.
And then we can ask them all kinds of questions about the rest of the application.
What are we site walking? Pleasantview and Boston Post
And
Wildwood.
Wildwood.
and the Wildwoods. Okay.
Yeah. So Pleasantview, Boston Post, and all the Wildwoods, which luckily will be together. All right. Do you have any comments, John, Delora?
No, I already just wanted to alert you about the elections, that's all.
Oh, right. Okay. Thank you. All right. Excellent.
Good job.
I thought this was going to go till 10:30 and now it's gone.
We can fill time.
So did I.
No, we have to save that because March is going to be another public hearing.
That's the
So-
way it sounds. Yeah.
Get your beauty sleep on this one tonight and then.
Yeah,
leave it up.
Right.
All right, I will entertain our final motion for the evening. Somebody,
I'll make a motion that we skedaddle at this time.
I'll second.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, see you guys sometime walking.
Oh, this is great.
Sounds good.
Okay, thanks.
We'll reach out to you.
All right,
Okay, thank you.